Let me tell you something that might shock you. I do not care about the vanity metrics. I do not care. And what I mean by that is I don't measure my success on what I'm doing by the likes, the comments, the shares, or anything like that. And if you want to win on social media, I would encourage you to change your attitude about those vanity metrics, the likes, the comments, the shares. And here's why. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter. Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a second, aren't you the guy that tells us you get 100,000 views a month organically? And I do. But if you want to win on social media, you need to really throw a lot of that out the window for the most part. Now, can it help you at certain times? Yes, it helps with listing presentations, right? When you can say, hey, I get 100,000 views a month organically on social media for free, that stands out. But what I want you to take away is that it's about you, right? Remember how we talk about making social media all about other people, all about others, all about your clients, all about, when you close a deal like those business partners, I want you to think about social media the same way. You're not the hero, right? With your analytics, you should not be the hero. I also want to say that I understand the feeling of you saying, hey, I don't get any likes, I don't get any comments, social media isn't working. The analytics can help you in a lot of ways. It can tell you what you're doing right and what you're not doing right. If a post doesn't reach that many people, that should tell you that you did something wrong on that post. But what I want you to understand as well is we can't, I say this to realtors all the time. I don't want you worshiping the analytics. I don't, right? And I want you to realize that your job in serving and helping people through social media means that even if you help one person through a post, then it's working. So like I've said before, would rather you think about how can you go deeper and produce better content and help more people rather than how can I get more views? Now, I understand what so many of you go through as well, right? I remember early in my career not getting many likes, comments, etc., and then thinking, hey, my stuff's not working. But here's what I've realized after posting almost every day for years. The people who end up working with me the most to buy or sell a home, most of them do not like or comment on a post. Now, they do see my stuff and they mention that, but they don't sit there and like my Facebook post all day. I want you to think about it this way, and let's reframe this today. Okay. What should you care about, right? You should care about how you're helping people, how you're serving them. If your social media is telling a story, you should care about that. Well, John, what do you mean? It's been interesting. We've kind of shared, a bunch of things, but one specifically being about our son being diagnosed with autism. And that, when I share that, it's not to sell houses and it's not to get views or whatever. But what I've learned is when you share stuff authentically, you will connect with people and serve them. And so I want you to measure that instead. Am I serving others? Am I connecting with others? Am I, sharing things and being vulnerable to build that know, like, and trust? So many times, and I've said it, people are watching me for months, and then they say, hey, we like your stuff. Can you help us buy a home? Just today, someone that I met at an event about a year ago reached out and said, hey, so nice to meet you at this event. I love your content. Right. And this is someone who's actually talked about, getting their real estate license and those such kinds of things. So it led to a conversation. One of the cool things about social media, again, is that it creates connections, but that doesn't mean people will, necessarily engage with your stuff. But behind the scenes, they are paying attention, they're reading your posts, they're watching your stories, and they're paying attention to the client wins and stuff like that. I had a deal close last week, shared about it on social media. Someone that was a mutual friend of those people that I knew messaged me and said they're thinking about buying a house. In a few weeks, I'm going to share a video with you guys that I've already started planning for, talking about, different things on social media that the algorithm won't show you, but can still show you different success. And so here is the truth that I want you to understand. Okay. And you probably do know this, but let's just say it. Likes don't equal buyers. Likes don't equal sellers. neither do comments, neither do shares. They make you feel good, but they don't tell you who your real audience is. Your real audience is going to be the people that do reach out. And so I want you to understand that you should measure your business by different things. It's very interesting being a coach to agents. And let's just say, I mean, I don't teach this, but let's say you're an agent and you want to call 100 people a day, and that's how you've built your entire business and how you have success in your business. Do you decide whether those 100 people pick up and talk to you, or they're nasty, or they yell and scream at you, or they're very nice? No, you don't. And so I want you guys to think about measuring different things rather than, hey, did the analytics work? Hey, did someone like or comment or whatever? I want you guys to think about different things. I want you to think about the actions you're putting in and measuring that instead. Okay. So instead of, did my content lead to me selling a house today? You don't control that. All you control is, am I showing up? Am I producing good content? Am I seeking to help and serve people? So I want you to think about these things, okay? Have I posted consistently today, right? If you're trying to post every day, or have I posted consistently this week, this month, right? Did I show up and talk about my buckets, okay? Did I tell a story, and am I telling good stories? Am I creating connections on social media? When someone reaches out, because you might have 10 people reach out from a post, or 100, or none, but we can't control that. What we can control is, if someone reached out with a question, if someone DM'd me, did I answer them? Did you respond? Right? As people connected with me privately, right? And watched my stuff or something like that. Um, did I have real connections? Real connections with real people, right? Social media is great. And in a lot of ways, it's awesome, the connections we can have with people, right? I've told you about people I haven't seen in 20 years that I would not know existed if it weren't for social media. So social media is a very powerful tool, but we don't worship the analytics. We just try to make good connections. Am I caring about people? Am I posting consistently? So what I want you to think about is the behaviors that you're doing. Are you putting in the work? Are you putting in the reps, right? You cannot control the results in a lot of ways. You can control your effort and putting in the reps. Okay. I also want you to understand that I never, when I talk to any realtor, when I've talked on these videos, I never talked about the analytics of comments or likes. Why? Because I know, for number one, Facebook is a place where lurkers are, and they're not going to comment or engage a lot. It's very rare. And so I don't want you worshiping those analytics. But what I do want you to understand is I would much rather you focus on views. Why? Because someone can watch your stories every day without engaging publicly. And someone can see your stuff and maybe not like because they don't understand the importance, or they just forget. There's been so many times where realtors that I coach or support or help, or realtors under me at EXP, I want to support their post and I forget to like it. So we all do it, even those of us that are like on Facebook for work every day. But if you track your views, that means that you're connecting with people, even if there's no likes, even if there's no comments. And if they're watching you, right, and building know, like, and trust, they know you, they trust you, and they are building a relationship with you, even if it's silent. So views are a much more powerful analytic than anything else, than comments or likes or whatever. And it's the most powerful metric that your audience can share with you. Because here's the thing, if they are viewing the post, then something is pulling them in. If they are not viewing the post, or it's not getting out there, then it means there's something I didn't do well and I need to change it. And we will talk over the next few months about how to study the analytics exactly. But views is what I track. And here's something realtors do not understand. The algorithm cares about behavior, not buttons. Someone can view your content 10 days in a row, 3 months in a row, a year in a row without liking anything. And the algorithm still says this person is interested, show me more. This is an interesting point because if you ever grew up watching the show Family Matters, I feel like I put on my geeky Steve Urkel glasses when we talk about this. But the analytics The way it works is if you look at my post, right, or like it or whatever, if you're looking at my post, if you guys go to my personal Facebook right now and you look at a few of my posts and maybe even engage with them, Facebook will say in its brain, hey, Amanda or whoever likes John's content and likes seeing it and is watching more of it. We should show Amanda more of John. And so what that means is then they will show Amanda more of my posts. Well, what does that mean? My posts have to be good and engaging for Amanda to want to view them and not to scroll right by. And that's how the algorithm works. That if I have stuff that is more engaging, they will push it out to more audiences. Well, how do they know that? Not everyone likes their comments. It's by how many people view it, your videos, how much of it they watch, and those kinds of things. So, this is why your reach will sometimes collapse when you're not putting out enough content or quality content because it'll show it to people in the news feed and they will scroll right by it. So the algorithm knows your real audience and the views show your real audience, even if they're not liking or comment. So I want you guys to think about as we close this out. Am I connecting with people? Am I having conversations? Am I caring about people intentionally on social media? Did I start conversations from that? Those are the metrics I want you to track. Not did your post get 5 likes, not was your views, 100 or a few hundred within an hour, or did enough people comment on it? Did you have conversations? Did you care about people? Because those things, conversations and caring about people, especially on social media, turn into clients eventually. They buy homes or they recommend people to buy homes. On Friday, I'm going to take this deeper. I'm going to show you exactly why social media creates referrals and why people reach out to me from social media. And I hope in closing, you understand today that I don't care about likes, comments, shares. I care about how deep I'm going with people and if I'm caring about them genuinely and serving them. And I care about getting more views with high quality content. I would much rather you guys say, oh, I'm going to post 3 or 4 high quality pieces of content a week rather than 20 to 30 posts and AI wrote them or I just threw them on social media without any effort or energy. That's the stuff that will increase your views, increase your relationships, and help you grow on social media. So I hope this helped you guys. Can't wait to see you guys for our video Friday as we talk more about how social media can create referrals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then.